Hey Stampers, I made several of these paper ornaments last year at Christmas for gifts, and I had some requests to show you how to do that. And I thought, since we're all stuck at home, that maybe you might want to get a head start on some projects for the holidays, and you have some time to make these paper ornaments. So I'm going to show you how to do that today. And it takes very little material. You need 3 pieces of designer series paper. They're all the same length. They're all 7 3/4 inches by 1 5/8 inches. 3 strips, and we're going to score each of them the exact same way. So take your pieces of paper and you're going to score at 1/2 inch, 1 1/4, 3 1/4, 4 7/8, 6 7/8, and we'll score all of those the same way. Now that those are all scored that way, you see how our ornament has these curved edges to it, and so we need to make score lines for those curved edges, and we're going to use a framelit, a circle framelit, to do that. So this is the 3rd largest from the Layering Circles framelits, and if you don't have those, just find something that measures a circle that's 2 5/8 inches in diameter. That's what this circle is. And to make those curved lines, I've just pulled in my Stampin' Pierce mat so that I have something cushy to emboss the circle on. And you see, here's our 1/2 inch. I don't know if you can see that. Yes, there's our 1/2 inch line. So we're going to work on making circles in this section here, and then we skip this section, and then we're going to make the circle in this area here. Okay, so we're going to do that on both sides in those sections on each piece. So I'm going to hold this while you can see that score line. I'm just going to put the circle like that and go around it and make that curved edge, that curved score line. Now don't press too hard if you're using designer series paper, because you will go all the way through the paper with the stylus, and you don't want to do that. Turn it around in those same sections and make that same score line. So I hope you can see that. If I pinch those score lines, you can see where that's scored. If I pinch those, see that sort of bends there. Okay, and that's what we want. is that curved edge to sort of collapse in. So we need to do that for the other two pieces of designer series paper also. Okay, once we have all of our score lines made, we need to choose one of our pieces of paper. It doesn't matter which one since they're all the same, but this is the 1/2 inch score line you can see here. Okay, so at the other end, where there's only one section and not two sections, we're going to come to this other end, and right in the middle of this section with these two circle score lines, we're going to punch a hole for our ribbon. You can use baker's twine or thin ribbon, and we're actually going to go ahead, I'm just using some thin white ribbon, we're actually going to go ahead, find my scissors, and cut a piece of this. I'm going to cut it kind of long and make our hanger for this. So you're just going to fold that in two and then tie a knot at this end. And then you want to thread that through your little hole, which you can use a larger hole punch if you're using thicker ribbon. I was able to get this done in my sample, but of course with you watching, I'll never get that through. Oh yeah, there it goes. And that knot will hold that. You could always reinforce that with a cardstock circle that you have 1/8 of a hole punched, and then you punch like a 1/2 inch circle. Cut those off. You could always reinforce that circle if you were worried about it tearing, you know, if you were going to give the ornaments away. But yeah, you want that, your hanger there at that end. And then we're just going to sort of fold all of those circular folds on each of our pieces, just to kind of get it started before we start putting this together. Just kind of pinch them. You can't burnish them or anything, but you can pinch them together like that. It's sort of like a pillow box kind of fold on all of them. And now we're ready to bring in our adhesive. Get rid of our Stampin' Pierce mat. So you're going to use some tear-in tape to put this together, and on your ends where you have this 1/2 inch score line, you're going to put tear-in tape right there where it comes up to that 1/2 inch mark, and you're going to do that for all 3 of your paper strips. Okay, so now for 2 of these, we're going to go ahead and peel that off and make our circle, and one of them needs to be the one with your hanger attached to it. So to make our circle, we're just going to bring this other end around. Notice I put that tear and tape on the right side. This is the side that we're going, well, the pattern that will be showing on our ornament. So that tear and tape was put on the right side at that 1/2 inch mark. And you're just going to bring that around and right up to that 1/2 inch mark, adhere that, like that. Okay, do that with another one. We'll have 2 of them that are already made into circles. Okay, and so now you kind of want to pay attention to where your little indentions are, your scored lines, and you're going to, let's see, for here and here. And you're going to put this inside of your other piece. There, that's how we want it. So we have indentions here, we have indentions here, and then here on this one. Pull that out so you can see how that's just inside there, like that. So then for our next piece, we need to thread that through because there are no indentions on this one. They're here and they're here. So we're going to thread that through here and over that piece. Then over this piece and through this one, like so. Before we remove that tear and tape, you want to thread that through. See how it's going into this, then it's coming out this other side. We don't need to have that popped up yet. Okay? Once you've done 1 or 2 of these, it's actually pretty simple. It just looks complicated, but it's really not. Okay, so then you're going to adhere that, but we don't have our little score lines on this piece. They're hidden underneath. So what we have to do, this is the trickiest part, we have to slide this, and you're just going to have to sort of play with it, kind of pull it and push it, pull it from the other side. You're just trying to move this seam underneath so that our score lines show. So just keep pushing and pulling it. Usually when you push it and pull it for a little while, then it will start to move more easily. Pull it from the other side. Okay, and so now our seam is hidden underneath here, and we have our score lines are showing. And at that point, then we can just start putting this together really easily by pinching our papers. So we pinch that side and then the opposite side, and then see there's ones here that will pinch, and then the opposite side will get pinched. Like that, and then this, the top will get pinched, and then the bottom will get pinched. Doesn't matter what order you pinch them in. So that tear-in tape is the only adhesive that you use, because once you've pinched your little circle pieces together, then that creates your ornament. And you can put a little tag or an embellishment on it. You might want to tie another knot here so that that stays. It's not going to go anywhere. It'll be very durable. These are pretty sturdy once you get it put together. I'll show you the finished one again. Junk out of the way. So I just tied a jingle bell on this one, and I stamped a little tag and punched a hole, and I just put that tag right through the top of that, and then I tied the jingle bell on with some baker's twine, and it's ready to go. I hope you'll try this for yourself, and if you have questions, you can always contact me, Joanne, at therockpaperscissorsstudio.com.